The first time you're listening to it is an opportunity for us to just chat among ourselves. This is where we dedicate an hour to have a conversation among ourselves as friends, as the 702 family. And as I always remind you, this is a safe space to share our pain, a safe space to share our stories of survival, our experiences as friends, as a family, as a community, with no judgment. And today I want us to look at something that I promised you, in fact, last week, that this is what we'll talk about on the next healing hour. And that is unresolved loss. I want us to heal today from unresolved loss. Last week, when we were talking about the police officers who had gone missing and they found their bodies in a river in Centurion, in the Hanops River in Centurion, and the vehicle they were traveling in, we had a chat about it on the open line. And I was so surprised to receive so many calls on air from people who have lost their loved ones. And I think sometimes we forget that that is still a crisis. There are still families out there who have missing loved ones. And we don't talk about it a lot as much as we used to talk about it because we probably don't think it's a crisis anymore. And I remember even reflecting on the Sowetan. You know, the Sowetan newspaper used to have a page. Towards the back. Was it at the back? Where they used to have like missing people. And there would be contact details of, if you see this person, contact this. And I remember I used to see young children, 2 years, 5. I used to see people across all different ages. I used to see people who are looking for a 50-year-old or a 30-year-old who disappeared 30 years ago. And you're thinking, oh my goodness, can you imagine the pain that the family goes through? It's one thing. It's one thing to know that someone has passed, someone you love, but at some point that gives you some closure. You know that the person was sick or they were involved in an accident. But it's another thing to have a loved one go missing for so long and you don't know whether they are alive. And if they are alive, you don't know, what are they eating? Are they safe? And you wonder, if they are not alive and they are dead, how did they die? How do you even rationalize that? How do you, because for some people, they have to make a decision that I'm going to decide today that from now on, I'm going to live as though that loved one is dead. Because you're constantly tired of the hope. The police have just given up on that case. You've gone to psychic mediums, you've gone to sangomas, traditional healers. You have found no help. How have you survived that? How have you been healing from that? So I'd like you to give us a call this morning on 011-883-0702. Maybe you want to send us a WhatsApp voice note on 072-702-1702. I've got some emails that came through as well. Some of you who prefer to send us your stories via email on cm@702.co.za. Today we're healing from unresolved loss. If you have a loved one that went missing, or a loved one who died from an unresolved crime, or a death that's left you with unanswered questions. There's some of you that have loved ones. Imagine the family of the 3 police officers. At least now the police are thinking, okay, this may have been an accident because they found the vehicle. But there are cases where people found their loved ones dead on the road. They found them dead in the river. They've just found them dead in their room. And there is still no explanation of how they died or what caused their death. How do you heal from that? How have you healed from that pain of uncertainty? The lack of closure. Because without closure, how do you even move forward? That anguish of waiting for the news that just never come, or the desperation of trying to make sense of a tragedy that just feels so devastating. Please share your thoughts with us, and let's begin to heal and find ways to cope and learn to navigate this uncertain terrain of unresolved loss. The number to dial is 011-883-0702. WhatsApps on 072 702 1702.
702. Healing Hour.
Tabogo, let's start with you. You are calling us from Mohlakeng. Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Manyathela. How are you, sir?
I'm all right, Debza. How are you doing?
Yeah, and this is a tough topic. I remember, I think we had a topic last week about this, and you said I think sometime this week you'll make space for it. Yeah, now my case is very sad. My dad went missing 2002. I was 15 at the time, still in high school.
Yeah.
Doing grade 9. And up to today, there's no trace, there's nothing. He was just taken from the taxi rank where he was working, and then that was it.
Taken by who?
It was said there were 5 guys that came, 5 guys and a female that came, and then they those people are unknown, and then he just disappeared. Like they said, they wanted to go to Pretoria, and then he never came back. And on that day, it was my siblings' birthday. She was turning 2, so I've got 3 other siblings that came after me, that are from my dad's side. They don't know him. At least I know him, so I feel sad for them. And what's more painful is that my birthday is 3 days before his. So we share a birthday month, and he disappeared on the day that his daughter was turning 2.
And what did you guys do as a family? So obviously, I imagine the police got involved at some point, and did you try go to pastors or prophets, or because sometimes when people go missing, families go to ask for help anyway.
Yeah, I know we tried, because then he was a staunch ZCC member, a deep one. We tried, we went there, nothing. We wrote to Bokumbilekaya, went to the mortuaries, government mortuaries, prisons, nothing. What's this? Psychiatric institutes, there's nothing. So, the first year, I just made peace. So, you know what? It can't be that a whole person could just disappear like that without a trace. So, but every time it's my birthday month, I know that 3 days after, it's his. So, it becomes, a bittersweet moment. And then also for my younger sisters also, what? It can't be. And then I've had dreams about him. Twice I've woken up crying, not knowing what it means.
And what are your dreams? What are you dreaming about him?
The one time was at the street of my corner, there's a traffic light. So there was a funeral driving past. So normally, us as black people, what we do when a funeral passes, it's either you sit down or you wait. So as I'm waiting in a traffic light, he's wearing his green and yellow uniform from ZCC, driving a green car. And then as he passed, I'm like, even if they say 2 people are the same, but this is him. And then I jumped into the road and I stopped to say, how can you come to Mohlakeng and then you don't tell me that you're here? Then I wake up, tears flowing from my eyes. I'm like, then the second one, my mother and him were never married. But that day I was walking into my father's street where he was born. And then my mother was sweeping. And I'm like, no, man, my dad didn't marry my mother. Why is she sweeping now? Because he's got a wife. And then it's after the funeral, when people are busy picking the pots and cleaning them and whatever, it was that kind of scene. And then next thing I wake up, tears in my eyes. So I'm like, I don't understand whether this person is still alive or is he trying to communicate with me. I don't know what it means. Yeah. So I had to learn to be responsible at a very young age, because that's when I tasted how it's like to struggle. Because I don't want to lie, he did everything for me. Although him and my mother were not together, but that man played his part.
Sure. Tabogo, thank you so much for sharing that, man. And I'm so sorry. You sound like you've been holding a lot of people together. You sound so strong, but I'm sure this strength came with a lot of suffering. It was difficult to get to this part. Thank you so much for calling us. And I wonder if there are people who normally interpret dreams, and they're able to say that, a dream like this probably means this and that. And I just hope, Tabogo, that your dad you can continue to dream until you're able to make sense of what the communication is. Because I really believe that we are spiritual beings, and there are a lot of things that happen even in the spiritual realm that are supposed to teach us something or that are supposed to communicate something. And I hope that message can land one day, Tebogo. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us, Tebogo, in Mohlakeng. Tebogo, you are calling us from Rustenburg. Good morning.
Hi, Clement. Morning. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Not too bad.
Mm.
So I am calling for my grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
who just turned 80. So my grandmother had 7 kids, 4 girls and 3 boys.
Mm.
And in 2000, we buried my other aunt, who was, a tender age of 19. And immediately after her burial, my other aunt, so my mother was the firstborn, and so the secondborn, my other aunt, just packed her bags and left.
Mm.
And in 2012, so the youngest of the girls, was involved in a car accident. She broke her back, and she is currently now in a wheelchair. She was 32 when that happened. And in 2018, we lost my mother. And, ever since then, I'm feeling so sad for my grandmother. She is now left with the 3 boys and the 1 girl who is, in a wheelchair.
Mm.
And, when we lost my mother, it was then that, I made a promise to myself that, before my grandmother turns 80, I will try to find out what happened to my
Your
other
aunt.
aunt.
Mm. So you said she left when in 2000?
In 2000, so it has now been 25 years.
Sure.
And, unfortunately for me, my grandmother turned 80 in, a week back. We threw her a big birthday party. But, every time I look at her, I get so sad.
Yeah.
I get so sad. I feel like she has gone through so much loss, and I would really, really, really because she's 80, and for her, life is not really guaranteed. So my wish was to try and figure out, what happened for her to get closure.
Some closure. Yeah. And
figure
you
out
guys,
what
did you guys could report her missing, or like what else have you guys tried? Anything?
They did. At that time I was still a bit young. They did. What I did was when she left, I tried to locate the people that she was hanging around, the people that she left with. But the word on the street is when they left Rustenburg for Joburg, they were selling themselves in the streets of Hillbrow. So the people that she left with are not forthcoming with if they could only just tell us when we left, this is where we landed, this is where we lived, some form of I don't know, just somewhere for us to pick and a lead of some sort.
Yeah.
But they're not forthcoming, so it's
sure. Yeah, Tebogo, that's so sad, and for your grandmother as well, who's 80 and is probably just hoping and holding on that maybe before she passes, she can have an opportunity to have some kind of closure. How old was your aunt at the time, and did she have any kids?
Yeah, she had. I'm not sure of the age, but she had 2 kids when she left. My 2 cousins.
And how are they doing?
They go around as if they don't care. But I think they're still young, and there will be a time when they also want to find out what happened to their mother. Currently, they say, she left. She left. So they go around unbothered. But I know that one day it is going to hit them.
There's a
when
trauma somewhere. Yes, yeah.
Kids of their own.
Sure, Tebogo, thank you for sharing your story with us, and I really hope and pray that there can be some lead I really hope, for some of these cases when someone has been missing for so long, 25 years is a long time and you don't even know where to begin, or someone who goes missing since 2000. That's a long time. But I really pray, Tebogo, that there's some closure for you as a family, but more especially for your grandmother. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Let's go to some WhatsApps.
Morning, Clement. Yeah, ne? Unresolved loss. I'm the mother of a 4-year-old daughter who went missing in 2010. To date, no closure, nothing. It is a very painful, undescribable pain. Thank you.
Yeah, I can only imagine. How painful that is for your daughter to go missing at such an age, and you still don't have answers. How do you live? What do you do on their birthdays? What do you do when you see other girls who are or were her age when she went missing? There are so many families out there that are struggling with this. There are many families that still are struggling with unresolved loss, where someone has gone missing or someone has died under mysterious circumstances and there's still no answers as to what truly happened, what transpired. How have you been healing from that as a family? Do you have a loved one who has gone missing? Do you have a loved one who died and to this day, years later, there's still no explanation as to what happened to them? And how do you heal from that? I've got some emails that came through on cm@702.co.za. One email says, "Good morning, Mr. Manyathela. I hope this email finds you well. My brother, MacDonald Mareme Pasha, left Tembisa in 1996. We heard that he was seen at Witbank in 1999. We since tried to trace him with no avail. The mother died in 2002. We tried to trace him even after that happened, but it was just difficult." That's an email we received from a concerned brother, Hamilton Pasha. I wish we could do something that somehow, and this is the kind of stuff that one day you do when you've got a much of a broader reach across the country, where we can get people to just tell us who has been missing. Who knows? Maybe there's somebody out there who knows someone or is connected to somebody who may know the person that has been missing that you are looking for. But Hamilton, I hope that your father your brother can be found. Musa says, "Good day, Clement." This is on email as well. "Good day, Clement. I hope after this email I can begin to heal. I lost my 17-year-old daughter in 2013 due to short, mysterious illness. Even today, I'm still struggling to heal because I don't know what went wrong. A week after the funeral, I went to the hospital every day just to find out what was exactly happening or what had happened. I'm telling you, they will take you from pillar to post. You will wait for the doctor to come explain until you lose interest. But it's okay. She's gone. May her beautiful soul rest in peace. Thank you, Clement. God bless you." That's a message there from Musa. Musa, I'm so sorry about your daughter. I hope that you can begin and be strong enough to begin your own journey of healing. After losing your 17-year-old daughter to this short, mysterious illness, and that really is unresolved loss, where you constantly are asking yourself, and you're asking God as well, what happened? how did I lose someone I adored so much like that? With an illness that is mysterious, that is not understood to us. I can only imagine how many questions you have, Mosa, but I hope you can, as you said, you can begin your own journey of healing. And it's part of why we do the healing hour, to also remind you that there is a community out there of people who have gone through similar tragedies, and we can help each other, just strengthen each other in these conversations that we have. David, you are calling us from Pimville. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement. How are you?
I'm good, David. How are you?
I'm okay, thanks. Clement, I'm just one of those people that have their loved ones went missing for a long time. My brother disappeared in 1989. Till today, we have searched everywhere. We went to mortuaries, we went to prisons, and I remember the newspaper World was still around. We reported that, and nothing happened till today. And I remember when my mom passed away in the same year, 1989. She asked us, "Where's John? Where's Mdi? Where's Mdi?" She would always ask where's Mdi until she passed on. So I was just saying that we still searching. He used to travel to Florida. There's a park in Florida where he used to go, and every time when we go past there, we normally ask people there, "Have you seen MD? Do you know MD?" It's so painful, Clement. It's so painful. Yeah, we don't even know. We were 7 in the family. I'm the one left.
Yeah, David. Yeah. Do you guys know who was the last person to see him? Do you guys know where he left to? What information did you get after that disappearance?
No, the only information that we got was that he used to do some part-time jobs in Florida. They would stand there in the park in Florida, and then people will just come and pick them up for part-time jobs. So that's the only thing that we know about him.
Yeah, sure. So sad, so sad. Thank you so much for calling us. And yeah, at some point, as families, as loved ones, as the families of these loved ones and victims, we need to start that process of healing. But it also just doesn't come. You don't wake up one day and decide, "Oh, I want to heal from this." There's a whole journey that you have to go on, and it's a difficult one because sometimes it requires that you have to make up your mind about whether you're going to consider the people still alive out there or whether you're going to consider the people dead, because it's just simply been so long. And that's a difficult decision to make. It really is a difficult decision to make. It's 10:31. 3 minutes before 11 o'clock. This hour we are doing our monthly feature, the Healing Hour. And today we're healing from unresolved loss. There are people that have loved ones that went missing, or loved ones who died from an unresolved crime or death, and that's left them with unanswered questions. And we're having this conversation and hoping that this begins that journey of healing. Some people don't often talk about how they feel about the person who's passed or the person who has gone missing, about the unanswered questions they have. And this is a safe space for you to share your story with us, to share your pain with us, to connect virtually with other people that may be going through the same thing, but are not able to call us, but they're listening, and them knowing that there's a whole community out there that has also experienced that tragedy somehow helps them in their own journey of healing. We're taking your calls on 011-883-0702. You can send your WhatsApps as well on 0727021702. Tobekile, you are calling us from Johannesburg. Good morning. Hello, Tobekile. Tobekile, can you hear us? Okay, we're struggling there with Tobekile. Let me put her back to the producers. Let's go to Mpho in Rustenburg. Mpho, good morning.
Morning, Clement.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm fine, and you?
I'm good, Mpho.
It was 2012, 19 February. It was a Sunday, Clement. We just woke up. It was just a normal Sunday. We went to church. I came back. I wasn't staying at home, but I decided to visit that weekend. So as I was getting ready to go back to work, I was busy outside hanging the laundry. My brother came in. He prepared himself, not knowing that he's going to commit suicide. So, and by that time he was busy hanging himself. I'm busy hanging the laundry just on the back of his room. My niece, she was 3, was playing in front of the door. He didn't even lock the door. The child was playing just in. And then I just went into the house, did whatever I was busy with. My younger sister came back. I don't know what happened that led her to go and check on him. As she opened the door, he was already on his knees. To today, we haven't found closure. It's so hard. It's so hard because even when he comes to us in dreams, it's all a mystery. It's so unresolved. Even the forensic pathologist was suggesting that this is not a normal suicide.
Why do? Sure, yeah. Mpho, that is so tragic. I'm sorry about that. Can only imagine this trauma that has befallen the family. Is there a reason why the pathologists are suggesting it's not a normal suicide?
Because they normally say when a person has committed suicide by hanging, he has to excrete.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Of which he did. The tongue has to be hanging outside, but the tongue wasn't hanging outside. His mouth was closed. His eyes were still opened. But when we went to the pathology on the following Monday to identify him, he had an open mouth with the eyes still opened.
How does he appear in your dreams?
He doesn't talk. He's just facing backwards.
Sure.
We've tried mediums. We've tried prophets. They always say he's not resting.
He's not resting.
Yes. And this has been so tragic to a point that 2016, after dealing with that, my father also mysteriously passed away. He woke up normal morning. It was a Friday. He got up, went outside. He fell. Then it was the end. Boom.
Sure, Mpho. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about that. I hope you guys can heal as a family. That's just so much happening.
It's too much
for you guys to take in. Was your brother just before that incident happened, Mpho? Did he share anything? Was there anything he was worried about? Was there any concerns?
Yeah, there was some things going on in his life, but we never imagined that it could lead to him committing suicide and leaving Bible verses. The worst part is leaving Bible verses for us to read them.
So he left the Bible verses?
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
And the police are refusing to give us to them. The police they are refusing to give us those Bible verses because they took them as part of evidence.
Oh, it's part of the evidence.
Yes.
Yeah, and there was no letter. It was just those Bible verses. There was no letter that he wrote.
No letter. He only left a message to one of his friends who gave the speech during his funeral. And he said to us, to me specifically and to my mother, he said that we must look after each other and avenge whoever did him wrong. And he called out those people by the names.
And those are not people in the family, are they?
No, they are his close friends.
Close friends.
Yes.
Whew, yeah. Yo, Mpo. In Rustenburg, thank you for calling. I pray and wish healing for you and your family and strength to find closure from not only this incident, from that passing of your dad as well under those mysterious circumstances. Thank you for calling us. Maxwell, you're in queue. Good morning.
Good morning, Clem. How are you?
Good man. How are you doing?
I'm doing quite well.
Sure. Yes, Maxwell. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Yes, my uncle had been missing since from 1999 after he had some verbal altercation with my mom. Yes, so 5 years later, around 2003 somewhere or 4, so they sort of found out that he stays somewhere in Northwest, so they gave the address. So some family members went there. Then upon their arrival there, they were told that person had left a day before, relocating to a specific area that is unknown. Yes, so ever since his disappearance, so my mother has been ill because there was this thing that the family members like will always insult my mom as to, yeah, you are the one who have caused this guy to part ways with the family. If it wasn't for you, this guy wouldn't have left, all those things. So this thing like had been eating my mom all the way up until she sort of fell. She fell out of blue, and by that time she was alone in the house. Then as a result, she passed on. So this thing I'm now in the position whereby I can't even describe the kind of feeling I am sort of feeling.
No, I can only imagine, and I understand why it's so troubling for you to even understand that, Maxwell. So many questions and questions that are unanswered. Maxwell, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I wish you healing as well for you and your family.
Hi, Clement. I lost my grandmother in 2001. She was murdered by her husband, and to date, we never got closure. Instead, we were told that she committed suicide, yet she was shot in the forehead. That pain still haunts me till today. I struggle trusting men in general because I always think they probably want to hurt me and kill me as well. So it really has affected me a lot, and I miss her daily. As much as it's been over 20 years, the pain never goes away.
Hi, 702. Hi, Clement. With the topic of missing people, we had Musa Matlenza went missing, I think it's 2023. He finished his grade 12 at home in Scotland. We call it Form 5. So brilliant, so intelligent. He's missing till today. When it's raining, now we're approaching winter, when this cold,
We don't know. We are praying every day. He's my uncle's son, umntana babelomkhulu. We don't know where is Musa. They've tried everything. Even today, we have not yet found Musa. And kubuhlungu Clement. Kubuhlungu babelomkhulu. Uze uyagula soze bedridden. I-last born yakhe lebe smart kakhulu. Yanyamalala kanjalo nje macici akubhala. Till today. Yabona nje malina liduma kungena busikanyana saqi ngamusa. One day mhlambe uNkulunkulu utosiphendula Musa aqhamuke. Ngiyabonga Clement. Oh, thank you for such topics. Although it's touching at home. Siyabonga.
Oh, ngiyakubonga mina. Thank you for sharing your story. And please don't stop praying. And I think there's a bit of hope that we have in prayer. And sometimes we must maybe also pray for closure, for God to, or the higher power, whatever your belief is, just to be given clarity of thought, to be given the strength to know and understand closure and get closure. Because living every day, constantly being triggered, that is so difficult. It really is. Leletu, you're in Pretoria. Good morning. Hi, Leletu.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm going through a lot, Clement. I recently lost my dad last year in September. He committed suicide.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
He hanged himself behind the house. I'm working here in Pretoria, so I just got a call when I was at work that your dad has hanged himself and. But to cut the long story short, how it happened, like it was like when they found him, he was still wearing his sandals. The sandals were not off, and he was clean, and the rope didn't cut him, because when you hang yourself, the rope must cut you. There was no sign of bleeding or anything, But I don't want to dwell in that a lot, because it's painful as it is. So, like recently, like on Monday, I had a dream about him. He came to me asking me what really happened, for me to explain. Like how I was explaining to him was the scenario of how I found out about him passing, and where he was. It was like he was somewhere where they were, like it was like a hall where there are a lot of people, like their families saying goodbyes to their family, and I don't know what was happening, but it was like a funeral, And then again, yesterday when I was sleeping, he comes again. He's in a form of like, I'm being called, like by both people saying, no, I think we buried the wrong body. Your dad is in hospital. In a setup like he's in Steve Biko or whatever, and he's requesting you to come and see him. And then I was like, okay, fine. Can I go and see him? Is he fine? Is he stable? Is he not confused? They were like, he's just saying he wants you to come and see. I'm like, okay, fine, I can go and see him. When I went there, he was like, he had beard and his hair was grown, and he didn't have one eye. Like it's scary. You understand? And I didn't know. Like he said to me, please take me with. I don't want to be here. Please take me with. I don't want to be here. Like I said to him, I take you now. Where do I go with you? Because the people know and the family know that you're not no more. So what do I do with you? But I ended up picking him up in my car, going home with him. But now I'm scared. How do I go in and tell the family that I've got this person is back? He doesn't have one eye, but in my mind I'm like, I can find him an eye. I can accept him the way he is, Like it's that dream was, and after waking up, I could feel, Clement, that he was here. You have that feeling that someone was just there, like you. Like, to cut the long story short, my dad is not resting. I feel like his soul is not resting because, it's painful.
Yeah, that is so triggering. I can only imagine. Lelet, I'm getting a lot of calls from people who are also explaining dreams that where they're seeing these loved ones who have died under mysterious circumstances or who have gone missing. I think what we must do as a follow-up to this, maybe spend an hour and bring in people who can help us understand more about, how should we be interpreting these dreams? And, there are people who understand what is possibly being communicated or a message that's possibly being sent. So I'll do a follow-up on that, Leletu. Thank you so much for calling us, and I hope there can be healing and really just closure for you and the family. 7 minutes before 11.
Hanging out with Clement
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.